before any racing event in the team is always chaotic. Some modifications here, some maintenance checks there, and some repairs have to be carried out before the next event. However, this next event is special, as Michael and Stephanie shall explain. Where are we going this weekend, and how come we can't just drive the exit for going to Kasarani?
So this weekend we are going to Nanyuki, and the main reason we can't drive the same way we drive to Kasarani is that it's a bit of an out-of-town trip. It's a long trip just to hopefully preserve the cars and have them ready for the race event. It's just easier flatbedding them to Nanyuki.
It also keeps you more comfortable so that you're not super tired and depleted for the next day. Because driving a rally car is very tiring. It's not something that you want to do over 3 or 4 hours continuously. You really want to have as much energy as you can for the next day.
What music do you like listening to on long trips such as this?
Afrobeats, definitely. Mellow, not as upbeat as Amapiano, so that you won't get tired. It keeps you energized.
And relaxing. It's very relaxing music for a long road trip.
Along the way, we managed to catch up with the rally cars from Nairobi, which was fun to see. Are you for snacks on a trip or against snacks?
For me, take a breakfast. I don't really eat much during a road trip until I get to my destination. So for me, not really pro snacks per se.
Imagine you're explaining this to like a very young nephew. How would you describe scrutineering to them?
So, scrutineering is basically where the cars that you're going to use for competing are going to be checked if they're okay, if they have everything they need to have, if they are safe to drive in, and whether there are any last fixes that the mechanic should look at before race day. So basically just make sure that you haven't missed anything before the day of the race.
It's the same way a teacher in school will check your homework to make sure it's
Done.
It's good.
Now at this point, the service crew arrived, and since there was a lot more work waiting for them, we decided to join them in their shenanigans.
Do you think we should clean? We should not. Actually, this needs to come off. One of them was insisting you had to wear you guys had to wear goggles.
Yes.
Oh no, so if there's one who said it's okay, you wish him.
After some rest on the couch and some cleaning up, it was time to head back to the track. And for the first time ever, Umoja Racing would be running both in 2 different categories and with a new lead driver.
The same with the results.
But first, a few words from Gidengi and Atlas after the practice meet.
First of all, coming to Nanyuki, basically having a travel event was lovely for me. It's like a road trip, of course, with a few logistical issues here and there, but it's resolved. The track was great because it was an even playing ground. So all of us were new to the track,
You learn it as you go, it changes as you go. So I'm loving it. I think the expertise that you bring to the table, Umoja brings to the table, has been pretty helpful for me. And team mechanics used to preparing competition vehicles very often. So that's a big plus. Were able to advise me on something on the car as well. Still working very closely with Agano Motorsport still. But yes, I'd say I'm loving being in a team. So far so good, it's been smooth, car's running great, team is running great, so kudos.
Congrats. It feels good.
Yeah.
Now in Heat 1, let's get Stephanie's view of her expectations of the event.
Having fun, definitely. Especially because we're just starting our season, because we are new to the team. So we want to make sure that we finish. Here goes to Nairobi the same way it came. And we're having fun. Yeah, so basically just making sure that things are okay at the end of the race. Not setting times. Setting times is going to be for later on in the season.
With the heat and dust of Nanyuki in full force for Heat 2, we decided to take a bit of a break and ask the driver some questions and a bit of a look into the past for some of them.
Alright, from your first event with your lovely Evo 7, is there something that has remained constant throughout, and what has been the biggest change from then to now?
The constant, you just said, it's the Evo 7. So I think beyond that, there has been more seat time over the period since we were here. And I think that has built up more confidence compared to the last event in the meeting. So I think it's more seat time with the car, getting to push it harder and push my limits. Fun fact, it's not a fact. I today managed to drive without brakes. It was fun. It was very fast and fun. I think I did not get to a point where I maybe panicked, and I think that overall helped to maintain the control of the car. So the fun fact is you adapt to the conditions as they change.
Now you may see John is present, but in a different role.
Would you have preferred being a team principal or just behind the wheel?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I believe I think a blend of both. Though also I understand and appreciate that with time we'll have to transition fully to becoming a team principal, because there's lots of talent out here that needs to be nurtured, and many people need opportunities to race. The only way that's going to happen is if people like me, Clement, Steph, Mike, Gideon, Azeli, Givengi, decide to take bold steps and start introducing as many people as possible into the sport. So being a team principal is a bigger mandate than racing or being a driver. Something I'm really humbled about, or I'm humbled doing today. So yeah, it's really Nice. So if I was to choose between the two, I think it's a blend.
Inhaling fun. Yeah.
Very, very lightly colored.
Yeah. Dusty fun. Yeah.
Now, the last time you were at Nanyuki, the track seemed a little bit different and slightly modified compared to now. How are you finding the track at the moment?
Last time it was, I think, an old track that has been there for quite a number of stages for KNAC and such. So today is a totally new track, and it's a good thing that we have a level playing field. Good way also to test your skills and learn how to handle the car differently. In a whole new setup that you had to remember from the sighting lap, and now you have to push the limits through the heat. Yeah, so it's actually way better. I think it's technical, good enough, twisty for good practice learning.
And Talak had a moment with a trader.
Andrew, we have to do this.
With that done, it was time to head back on track for Heat 3.
Right, we are about to show you a video. Could you give some context to what happened in this video and when it was taken?
So tell us, how is the race?
Wagwan.
Wagwan.
Just taking it slow.
Well, there's
So tell us, how is the race?
twisty corners one. First time I started racing competitively under the KMSF calendar for autocross events. I remember this was the second event in the calendar. No, the third event actually. The third event in the calendar. Yeah, I finished my first race. Such a humbling experience and a dream come true.
Any thoughts now about tomorrow, especially since it's a very, very special race for one of you?
I think for me, being my first race, I'm excited. I also want to make sure, like, one of my goals is to make sure that I get to the finish without any incidents. So yeah, for me it's just having fun and getting to the finish and just enjoying my first event. There's nothing more I can ask for.
Is there any advice you would have given you younger by 1 year when you are just starting out?
I think overall it's been the same concern, like pace yourself in, keep learning, and don't step away from the sport. Just keep pushing in the sport all through. I think one thing I should have just outright told myself is more seat time translate to better learning and better kind of getting up to speed with your car. So I haven't done that much, but doing more through the 10 events. Yep.
What would you have told you those 2 years ago? Something that would have blown their mind then, but right now is more of a normal day in the office.
For me, I did not think that a day will come where I'd be coaching guys to race, or I would have a team behind me. And today it's something very normal and casual. But I think it's some of those things that you sit down, reflect, and thank God for, because it's beyond my wildest dreams. For me, I just want to become a racer, a rally driver, that's all. And the way the journey is right now, it's turned out to be something very different and interesting.
From spectator to driver, from brothers to competitors, Michael Mutethia joins an illustrious group. One founded on unity, on celebrating each person's successes and assisting when needed, and in breaking the myth of motorsports being only for the elite. Michael Mutethia joins the 6 other members of the Umoja racing team and joins with a bang. As much as he had an off, Michael managed to seal 3rd place, closely followed by Stephanie in 4th in open class, with Clement and Githengi getting their first ever victories in their respective classes. And with that win, Clement is now leading open class from John Pelivani.
Congratulations on being a race winner. Cha tukusaidie. Right. Well, and then we're at the end of the day. How was it? As both first time and this second time, and now first time competing together.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of unexpected twists, turns, drops, banks. But at the end of the day, we made it. We are here. The car is going back to Nairobi intact. Yes, and that's what matters. But at the end of the day, one thing that I think we're all focusing on was constant improvement. So throughout the heats, just making sure you're shaving a couple of times or learning something new in terms of what to do. Yes, and that's what today was about.
So for me, it was my first event. My goal was to make sure that I finish the event, have fun, and make sure that the car goes home without any issues. So, yep. I did go off a little bit on the last lap, but yeah, it was a good one nonetheless. And yeah, looking forward to the next event. And I'd also like to thank the Umoja racing team, founders, John, Clement for the support, and the mechs especially, all the work they keep doing. Looking forward to the next one.
An interesting end to the day. I'm really humbled and happy that these 2 individuals have cleared out the race and finished. It's a podium and it's a strong finish for Steph. Yeah, there's much more coming through and hakuna mengi ya kusema. Kwa hayo machache hiyo anze wewe. Kwa hayo machache sub speech inaanza, lakini all is good, all is well, and yeah, looking for the next. Cool. The best thing you can do for yourself as a novice, as much as you are a motorsports enthusiast, fuata nyuki ule asali. In simple words, just approach guys who are doing it already. With that, you learn a lot. You'll be exposed to a lot. You'll have a lot of experience, and you'll be able to have a better starting ground than if you start alone. Start trying to figure out how to start racing on your own.
Clement followed up with some training back in Kasarani and proceeded to absolutely demolish the field in Nakuru in with the next round in Voi coming soon. It seems we're going to be crowning a new champion and a second Umoja racing champion in as many seasons. But until then, take care and goodbye.